Troy Kearns bringing it to you from my office in Las Vegas, and I'm so glad you joined me. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and these are the books that I'm going to recommend, my personal recommendations to you to read in order to be a successful real estate investor. So make sure you stay to the end because I've got a lot of great books, and not all of them are real estate related. A lot of them are motivational success stories. A lot of them are books about human psychology, which you need to understand in order to succeed in real estate. So the reason that these books are so important to me is they have actually helped me succeed and gain in knowledge, and they will do the exact same thing with you. And if you're not a big reader, I recommend Audible. Most of these books I actually have bought, and now I own them on Audible. And the cool thing about Audible is, thank you, Amazon, Jeff Bezos. They will actually let you return the book if you don't like it. And if they don't let you do it one time, you just call them up and they'll let you do it for free. So definitely recommend Audible if you don't have time. Listen to these books in your car. Listen to them over and over and again. You're trying to brainwash yourself with good information. That's really the point of reading good books. Gaining knowledge and brainwashing yourself with positivity and information. So make sure you stay tuned to the end. I'm going to start with book number 1. Every single seminar I go to, every single successful real estate I meet, all has one thing in common. They've all read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So that's the first book that you need to pick up. And in this book, he goes through how he has one rich dad and one poor dad, and his poor dad is actually his real father, and his rich dad is his friend's father, and how one guy taught things one way and the other guy taught things a different way. And he teaches you how to think like a rich dad versus a poor dad. He credits both of these guys for changing his life. And I'm actually getting goosebumps as I talk about it right now, because this book, I remember the first time I read it was in 2005 when I was visiting my dad at the Smithsonian Institute. And that book, I got through it when I visited him out there. And that book changed my life, okay? That book will change your life if you really listen to it. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, book number 1. Book number 2, possibly book number 1, because I think this one is more about all of the principles and success details that you need to succeed in anything, not just real estate. This is called Think and Grow Rich. This book was published by Napoleon Hill in 1937, okay? Napoleon Hill followed all of the big name entrepreneurs, and these are basically the habits of successful people and how you too can be successful about anything you want to do. One of his favorite stories, and you'll see a lot of these quotes I throw out there all the time, but one of his favorite stories that he goes through in this book is he marches all of his men to the top of the hill. This is a story that he tells in the book. And it's this guy, he's a leader of a military unit. He marches all of his soldiers up to the top of the hill. They had just launched their boats. They parked their boats at the bottom of the hill, and he gives them a big speech and he says, turn and look behind you. They look behind him, all the boats are on fire. He says, we either win or we die. That's a great book to give you inspiration. And then the 3 feet from gold thing, he talks about a miner who literally stopped mining 3 feet from the biggest gold vein that was ever discovered in the world because he didn't have the right person and he just quit. So don't stop 3 feet from gold, and make sure you start reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a classic from 1937, still a bestseller. Number 3, in a very new edition, is The Gambler. This is an inspirational book. It's probably one of the least known books, written by a guy named William C. Rempel. He's a great guy. I've actually talked to him on the phone, and it's about the life story of Kirk Kerkorian. If you don't know who Kirk Kerkorian is, and a lot of people don't, he's the guy who built Las Vegas. He is the Forrest Gump of business. He was the last guy to give Bugsy Siegel his flight to Las Vegas, and he built the City Center before he died at 98 years old. This guy was a rags to riches story. He is so inspirational. He was one of the first guys in World War II who ferried planes from Montreal, Canada to Scotland before they even know they could get there, when 1 in 4 more pilots died on the trip. So brave guy, he rolled each win into another win. Read the book, The Gambler by William C. Rempel. It will definitely inspire you to be more than what you are right now. It shows you that anything is possible. And it's a real life example of somebody that did something, that was born in a different country, whose father was illiterate and has all the reasons to fail, and he gives you all the reasons why he succeeded and got things done. Number 4, this is a fantastic book, and it's another Robert Kiyosaki book, The Real Estate Book. It's about all things real estate. So he goes into more complicated terms. So this is for the advanced investor, but I would definitely follow this up after I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You definitely want to read The Real Book of Real Estate. It's a great book. It's all things real estate. He's going to go into all types of deals. It's going to be real life examples. You're going to learn so much from it that you just got to read it. Number 5 is The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. The Laws of Human Nature is specifically about how people react, how people put on a fake face, how you can tell who's a con man, how you can tell who's lying to you. It's a great psychological warfare book. It's great in business. It teaches you all sorts of stuff. It goes and examines presidents' habits. It talks about everything. Make sure you get this book. Number 6, and it's not really like a favorite book. It's a book I just think you should read. It's about millionaire habits. It's called The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Starley, okay? It's a great book to read for facts. It's not that stimulating. I'm not going to tell you it is, but it talks about what millionaire habits are and how the average millionaire lives. Like the average millionaire drives an F-150. Honestly, it's a boring ass book, but a lot of people really like it and learn from it. For me, it was just like common sense. It's how I live my life. But I have found, like my wife specifically, that book really helped her understand all the habits that she had learned, how they're not correct. Number 7, Crushing It in Apartment Buildings and Commercial Real Estate by Brian Murray. This is a great book. I just happened to randomly find this. This is written by a guy similar to myself, but a little farther in his career. And he talks about how he started with nothing, retired, and he gives you real life examples about how you can become a successful real estate investor. It's just a different approach to what I'm talking about in my videos, but I really enjoy it, and I think you will too. Number 8, King Icon. This is a great book about one of my mentors that he doesn't know he's my mentor, but I actually have a picture of him. His name is Carl Icahn. He is one of the best corporate arbitrage guys of our time. He took down Texaco. He took down major companies. He's done like corporate mergers. It just goes to show you how a guy with no like upbringing, his parents didn't give him much. He paid himself through Princeton College. Shout out Carl Icahn. He's a great guy. I watch a lot of his stuff on YouTube, but this is a real life experience. There's not any books really written on him, and this is the one that I could find, and I love it. It talks about every sort of deal he went through and how he got through them, so it gives you great strategies on negotiation and how you can use leverage to get what you want. Number 9, The Southwest Airlines Way. Great book written by Jody Hoffer-Gittell. This is about how Southwest Airlines grew into a very successful company, why it's one of the airlines I fly. In fact, because I flew the airline, I was like, I gotta find a book about these guys. These guys run a great operation. And then I found this book. They've got 2 books, but I found this book, and it's wonderful. It talks about what their corporate policies are, what their culture is about, how a culture you can create, how they've changed with the times, how they make more money than any other airline out there because they focus on turn times, and how they get a corporate culture by hiring the right employees that buy into their company. Number 10, my favorite one, and I'm sure glad you stayed till the end. Thank you for doing that. The Creature from Jekyll Island, written by G. Edward Griffin. I love this book. This book is spooky. Did you know that money is fake? Yes. Did you know that a Federal Reserve is not owned by the feds? It's actually owned by a private company? That's scary stuff, but it's true. Make sure that you read this book. It's gonna blow your freaking mind, okay? The Creature producer from Jekyll Island talks about how they established our current central bank and how money is fake, and how if you don't understand how these bankers set it up, like the J.D. Rockefellers, all these guys set it up in a private meeting off the coast of Georgia on an island called Jekyll Island. And it goes through the whole story in detail, and you need to understand the Federal Reserve and the monetary system so that you don't get burned in real estate, and understand that money's just fake. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed those book recommendations. If you do, I'm so happy, and for that, I'm going to include these links to the Audibles in my description, and for that, hit me with a like and a subscribe and a notification and a comment. And if there's any books that you think I should read, please mention them in our comments. Welcome to the Millionaire Mentorship Contest. I got a contest that I'm going to announce right now, and I'm going to give you the details, and you got nothing to lose. First, go to TroyKearnsChannel.com and enter to win. Second, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Third, comment on your favorite video and share with a friend. Finally, text me at 702-887-1086. Then on the 4th of July, we'll draw the winner. That winner will be mentored by me, and we will find a property to flip together. I will finance the deal and help you through the entire process, and we'll split the profits right down the middle. Most deals we shoot to make at least $40,000, so that means if you win, you have the potential to make at least $20,000, if not more. Disclaimer, see contest rules for details. Certain restrictions apply. All rules will be at TroyKearnsChannel.com.